Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new movie spoiler review here on Max Talks Movies. It's Monday. I gave you guys all the weekend to watch Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and now we're going to be talking about this movie in full spoiler fashion. This could be one of my longer videos, like 15, 20 minutes, so stay tuned because I'm just so pumped to talk about this movie. I'm very passionate about it. I love this movie. I think it's easily, other than Spider-Man No Way Home, the best movie definitely of the year for the MCU, and I think the best project the MCU has done all year long. So we're going to talk about the breakdown. We're going to break down, the first act, the second act, the third act, the mid-credits scene, all the surprises, all the things I didn't like, things I loved about the movie. If you're new to the channel, my name is Max Weber. Welcome to Max Talks Movies. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, movie rankings, and box office breakdown shows. I know I've been kind of hit or miss the last couple of weeks, but I'm back to basically being full time here. So we're going to keep the videos rolling out here. We're trying to get to 120 subscribers. So please ring the bell if you're new to the channel. Comment down below. What are your spoiler thoughts on this movie? You can talk spoilers in this comment section, as I already have a non-spoiler review of this movie. So please go into spoilers. Did you love this movie like I did? If you had issues with the movie, what were your issues? What did you not like? And what are you excited for the future in Wakanda? And please like the video, guys, the thumbs up button. That's how you support the channel. So as I said, before I get into my spoiler breakdown, I already have done a non-spoiler review where I don't hint at anything that happens in the movie on Friday. So if you've not seen that video, or please go check that out. That'll have my score on it, all of those types of things, my actual critiques of the movie in that type of way. Also, if you've not seen the movie yet, I would highly recommend go to that video and then come back to this one when you watch the movie. But let's get into it. So let's break down the story as of really from point A to point B. So we opened the movie, and I was really interested in how they would open the movie. Would they open with a fun action scene? Would they open with T'Challa's death? And the movie thankfully just goes right into T'Challa's death. It doesn't really make you think about stuff that's going on in the movie. We get this really beautiful, emotional opening scene where Shuri's just trying to figure out, we're basically told that T'Challa's sick here in the opening scene due to an unknown illness. And because Killmonger kind of got rid of all of the herbs in the last movie, they don't really have the medicine to fix T'Challa. And Shuri's going through all these things, the compatibility, the confidence level. And then, Ramonda walks down to Shuri, and before she even says anything, Shuri says, "What is my brother's heartbeat?" And we cut. It was a really powerful opening scene. And it really does set up the beautiful character arc that Shuri has in this movie, where she is pure scientist and she could not see, she wasn't there for her brother's last breath. Just like a lot of the people on the set obviously did not know, or they're stunned by the true life tragedy of Chadwick Boseman. But, Shuri kind of haunts herself that she's this great scientist. I'm one of the smartest people there, and I couldn't fix him. What is wrong with me, and what is wrong with the world that I can't fix my brother? So we have this beautiful kind of cultural celebration of T'Challa. And at this point, kind of the Black Panther is dead to Wakanda, which is again, really fascinating idea. But then that's the big opening scene. Then we get this, in complete silence, the Marvel logo, and it's all the Chadwick Boseman's moments in the MCU. I think a lot of people are saying this about their movie theater experience, but my movie theater was completely silent for this entire thing. It kind of felt like a moment of silence for Chadwick Boseman, seeing all of his great moments. And it's tough not to feel emotional. It's different to feel that way in a movie. It's just such a different experience. So they cut to a year later, and this is where Ramonda goes to the UN, and the French and the America are like, you told us that you can share with us all the vibranium and it's available, and we're not able to get any of this. This is where we cut back and forth between an action scene in one of the places where the Wakandans are actually holding it. I think it's not Haiti, but someplace. And this is where Okoye, the Okoye-led Dora Milaje, as well as Michaela Cole's character Aneka, come there, beat up these mercenaries to try to steal the vibranium. And this is where Ramonda's like, we have no protectors. The first time she kind of publicly said this, said, we have no one to publicly protect us. There's no more Black Panther. My family's, T'Challa is dead. The king is dead, but I'm his queen. And we want to help people. We also don't want to feel attacked. And this is the first time in Wakanda's long history that it's feeling threatened. And not just obviously by the Talokan people and Namor, but by societies. And the fact that, while yes, it was a good thing, T'Challa had the right thing in mind of trying to spread the world, open the world to Wakanda and their things. But now they feel threatened. They're kind of, without a Black Panther, they feel very threatened. So you have that entire scene. And this is where we get, afterwards, setting up Everett Ross is back. I thought my least favorite part of this movie, his subplot with Val, that we'll get to in just a second. But Ross and Shuri, before this, Shuri and Ramonda are kind of, mourning the loss, and they both mourn the loss very differently. Ramonda can feel T'Challa's presence around him, and she just wants to burn the world down every time she thinks of him. But before they get into this big argument, Namor makes his debut in the movie. He kind of rises up. And he's basically like, there's a Wakandan detector machine that's detecting our people. And we feel threatened. Could you guys help us out and kill the scientist or find the scientist? And this then sets up the mission that Okoye forces really Shuri to go with. And now Shuri's cool with it, but Okoye is very persistent with the Queen that Shuri's going to come with me and we'll be just fine. So they go after the scientist. Of course, the scientist is Riri Williams, Ironheart, played by Dominique Thorne, at MIT, which is, of course, Tony Stark's alma mater in the MCU. And they have a little great back and forth banter, this scene between Shuri and Okoye. But this overall, then, they got, Ross leads them in this direction. This then leads to a big action scene between, Namor's people and Okoye, Shuri, and Riri, really in the Mark I armor. Shuri has the beads, and no one's really Black Panther. But then it comes a 3-on-1 attack on Okoye after, Ironheart crashes and Shuri crashes. Okoye's 3-on-1 kills 2 of them, faces off like 1-on-1 with the big, the number 2 guy, Atuma of Namor's group. Namor's number 2 person. And, they also, it's the first time she's fighting someone who also has vibranium. So that whole fight scene was really excellent. They throw the water bomb, which is so cool. Okoye goes into the ocean, and Shuri requests that take us to Namor. Here's the scientist. Here I am. I want to talk to Namor. So that's kind of all like the first act of the movie, which I loved. I was really into this first act of the movie. Then we cut back. The beginning of the second act is also, I think, one of the best things in the MCU has done, which is a really fantastic scene between Ramonda and Okoye. Okoye comes back. She's like, Shuri's gone, but we're going to go after her, right, guys? We're going to do it. We're going to find her. We're going to come back. And then, Ramonda drops the bomb that Okoye has been stripped of the dermalage. And Okoye's like, this is ridiculous. I've been, I'm a part of this like family with you guys. And then Ramonda gives actually some really truthful things. And Ramonda's like, you can see your husband. Like, someone brought up to, one of the people, the councilman was like, Okoye also stood up to her husband for the name Wakanda and for the people of Wakanda. And Ramonda's like, I don't really care. She can see her husband whenever she wants in prison. Obviously, Daniel Kaluuya was very publicly not going to be in this movie. He was shooting Nope during this. There was a bit of a conflict, but clearly his character is alive. But he's like, you can see him whenever he wants. And I can't see my husband. The king is dead. You stood by and watched Killmonger take the throne. And while Shuri and I had to go to the Jabari for M'Baku's protection, like all of these really truthful things. I was like, wow, Okoye maybe should be stripped of this responsibility. So she strips Okoye. What a great scene. It's one of my favorite scenes of the MCU. It's a fantastic scene. I'll try to go as quickly as possible. This is where the mission of Shuri goes through with an exposition dump of Namor's backstory, which is a very cool under the water thing with Shuri. And again, what the very thing about Namor and the performance by Tenoch Huerta is that he's written and performed both. He could be the really fun, nice guy, very charismatic, and then he can also be the brutality. He could be really brutal and not really care about killing people. And this whole second act really embodies that for Namor. Then we also get Ross and Val, and we learn that Val, played by Julie Louis-Dreyfus, we've not seen since Black Widow, and she was also, of course, in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. She'll be leading up the Thunderbolts team in the Thunderbolts movie. She and Ross were married before, and now it seems like Val is the head of the CIA, which is a big deal here for the MCU moving forward. But again, this whole subplot for me just really took me out of the movie because we were going back and forth between Wakanda Talo Khan, and then we kept going back to like the government stuff, which is just really wasn't that interesting. And even if it wasn't this interesting, I think they could have really shortened the time and condensed those scenes a lot. Those scenes do drag a bit. But this is the scene where now Ramona goes out to Haiti, and we see that Nakia left Wakanda 6 years ago after the blip, after her husband was blipped. And we see a little T'Challa Jr. in that scene, but obviously not. And we see him go up to Ramona. We don't know who that is, of course, not even thinking about that at the time. So Ramona recruits Nakia to try to get Shuri. And this is where the whole thing kind of goes bananas. Namor's like to Shuri, let's team up, let's kill the scientists, and let's wage war on the surface world. And Shuri's like, let's fix something peacefully. And Namor's like, we're either enemies or allies. There's no in between. But this is when, Namor kind of leaves Shuri, and this is where Nakia comes in for the save. But as Ramonda's talking to Namor, and Namor's like, if you touch the princess or show or expose our world to people, I'm going to kill you. Straight up, I'm going to kill you. And this is where Nakia kills one of Namor's people, and that becomes a war. And Namor comes in, wages war on Wakanda, floods the town. All these things happen, and this leads to Ramonda being killed by Namor. Once again, Shuri just has to watch another lifeless body of one of her family members, and now she is the last person standing of this family. And she's kind of lost all hope for anything. And now Nakia really kind of help her out of this situation, says, we need a Black Panther. We need a Black Panther. So she takes that herb that she got from the wrist from Namor, really great stuff. And we're like, who is she going to talk to in the ancestral plane? I think a lot of people were going to get nervous if it was like a CGI Chadwick Boseman. But it makes really, really good sense. And it is Killmonger, the return of Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger in the ancestral plane form, which is kind of where Killmonger went in his ancestral plane form. He went to the moment his father died, and she went to the moment her mother died, except Killmonger's on the throne because they both took the herb for revenge. And I thought that this scene was also one of the best scenes of the MCU so far. A really great acted scene and written. The chemistry between Michael B. Jordan here and Letitia Wright was fantastic, but the dialogue hits so hard because this is really what Shuri is going through. She is thinking of revenge. She just wants to kill Namor, to get her energy out there. She's not really thinking of the people. So they do this whole plan. She comes in back as the Black Panther. She talks to M'Baku, and M'Baku's like, we can't kill him. Doesn't matter if you kill him, there's gonna be more of them coming after us. And she's like, I don't really care what my mother thought. She's dead. I'm killing him. So you have this great, really fun action. It wasn't a great action scene. It was better than the third act of the last Black Panther film, which I really did not like, and really put that down lower on the MCU with me. I just really didn't like the fight between Black Panther and Killmonger, black on black and a black. It was just not, the suits and the background just weren't matching, and the CGI was really bad for that last action scene. And it wasn't as interesting with, the on the Wakanda soil action scene as well. It just wasn't that great of a third act for me, because the first two acts of that movie are so good. This is why I think this movie is better for me than the first Black Panther. So fun action, we get a great action between Shuri and Namor, and we also get it really on a carrier scene. Okoye and Aneka in the new armor. Nakia's helping out. All these things are going on. And Shuri gets impaled by a blade, and because she's impaled, it's Wakandan as well. So you have this great scene. She kind of draws out the water from Namor. He needs to at least get some bit of water to strengthen back up. And this is where Shuri's about to make the kill. And then Ramonda, to rip it out, Killmonger says, show him whose business. Like, are you gonna be like your brother who's very noble, or you do it like me who just handles their business? And when Shuri takes out the blade, about to kill Namor, and then Ramonda in the ancestral plane tells her, show him who you are. And she gives mercy, and they're going to team up. A really beautiful scene. And Shuri's character for me is just a lot more fleshed out. I like her character arc a lot more than T'Challa in the first film. Shuri went from a background side character, comic relief, pun person in the first film, and now she has a huge emotional journey, which I don't believe we would get again if sadly, if Chadwick Boseman didn't die, die in real life and pass away. And obviously, I don't want that to ever happen, but it gave Shuri this really fantastic and emotional arc in this movie, and Letitia Wright killed it. So they kind of yield. They're going to be teammates, it seems like. And then Shuri we're about to see like Shuri's gonna be the ruler of Wakanda, and it's not, it's M'Baku. So it looks like Shuri's gonna kind of be like a Black Panther behind the scenes, and M'Baku will rule the kingdom. Hopefully that gives more screen time to Winston Duke. It was definitely not enough screen time for his character, who's just so effortlessly entertaining. But we move to the only mid-credit scene of the movie. For the mid-credit scene, and it is, Shuri met up with Nakia at the end of the actual movie in Haiti, and then Nakia has a kid. I'm like, oh my God, it's definitely T'Challa's son. Tucson, who I think means something in, French, Haiti history, African-American history, all these things. And then she's like, I'm actually T'Challa. I am Prince T'Challa. And it's, again, I think they did this a lot better. Only thing I could think of they comparing this to is like Fast and Furious, where they named Dom's kid Brian, the real character's name, the character's name of Paul Walker's character after he died. It just didn't really hit, as it just felt very forced in the Fast and Furious films. And this I felt was really good. And obviously it keeps a T'Challa moving forward in the MCU. Obviously he's very young. I think he's like 6 years old in the movie. So we'll see how they want to time jump, if they want to time jump him or just take their time with this franchise moving forward. But they have, Nakia has a son. I'm really happy for that, because I really want to see Nakia be the Ramonda of this franchise moving forward. Lupita Nyong'o, if you just watch this franchise, you wouldn't know how talented she is, or how she's one of the best actors working today. And I love her character. I want more of her character moving forward. And hopefully, as the mother of the new T'Challa, the Prince T'Challa, I really hope we get to see her a lot more. Maybe Letitia Wright more as this character. There's rumors she might be done after this movie, or she'll come back on for one more. I really hope they keep her going, because again, no matter what the outside nonsense, the fact that she was anti-vax, whatever, she was great in this movie. I do think that if those problems can be resolved, I really hope that she can continue being the Black Panther for this franchise. But again, a lot to look forward to. That's my spoiler breakdown of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which is currently sitting in my top 10 of the MCU films of all time. So I love this movie. Much needed for the MCU, in my opinion. So that's my spoiler breakdown of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Please like the video, subscribe, ring the bell. My box office breakdown show breaking down this movie's box office will be coming out later today. But if you want to see my non-spoiler review, it's up here, and I'll see you guys